Okay, I don't think there's 100 of these on this list, but there are loads of them, and no, I can't be bothered to count them all because that's long. So here's somewhere around 100 small details that are awesome from the now ancient GTA5, which is still awesome. If you try to force Trevor to listen to a certain kind of music, he'll get angry and override you, changing the radio station back himself. There is a chance you can wander into a shop while a random NPC is robbing it. But if you rob a store repeatedly, the clerk will recognise you and have Popo waiting for you the next time you enter. Speaking of cops, if you disable a police vehicle and leave the cop alive, he will pinch a civilian vehicle and continue to chase you. And at high wanted levels, cops stop shouting out movements and start using hand gestures instead, which is a pretty cool detail that I couldn't find footage of, so here's Trevor flipping you the bird, which is kind of related to what happens if you stop your car in the middle of the road and block traffic, because drivers behind you will flick you off too. In a police shootout, if you shoot one officer in the leg, another might drag him behind cover into safety, and if you try to pick up a prostitute when a cop car is nearby, she won't get in the car. Oh, and prostitutes will sometimes have phone calls revealing their need to pay off student loans or earn enough money to pay rent. And visiting a prostitute increases your stamina stat. Wait, so I don't need to go to the gym, I just need to visit your mum. Flip-flops actually flip or flop when worn. When wading in water, your clothes get wet, but only up to the point you actually waded in. And if you run or exercise for a bit too long, sweat will seep through the character's clothes. And yes, I said that about your mum. At me. Michael's wife Amanda can be found on the game's fake dating website, Hushmush. Hushmush. If you go swimming with Michael and track water indoors when Amanda is home, she will yell at you. And if you accidentally run her over in a car, she later sends you the bill for the hospital visit. If you hail and hop into a taxi at the airport when someone was already waiting for one, they'll get mad and shout at you, try and pick a fight and drag you out of the car. If you talk to a character on a phone and call them again right afterwards, they comment on just having spoke to you. It's a simple but cool detail. Also, backfiring cars can ignite gas trails. Topless women will party at Vinewood mansions. If you take pictures of them on your phone, they'll call you a creep and their boyfriends will come pick fights with you. Which is pretty fair because you're a perv. If you spend a lot of money on customising your car, random NPCs will stop and compliment you on it and start taking pictures. Sometimes street performers will get phone calls and will break character to answer it. If you try and snap a picture of a street performer without tipping them, they get, well, kind of angry. When doing the hunting missions, you can send other characters your hunting pictures, and they all text back with unique responses, most of them angry and confused. Which makes sense, because you just sent them random pictures of dead animals. The mouse clicker in the in-game internet is very Rockstar. Dome lights turn on when you open car doors, and doing a burnout over a dead body generates a huge blood spray, which is cool, but gross, but still cool. Maybe I should get help, like Michael, who will confess to and discuss random events that just happened when visiting his psychiatrist, like sleeping with prostitutes or running over pedestrians. You know, usual GTA stuff. Older cars have squeaky brakes and can be harder to start. The moon phases change as the days and weeks progress, changing night lighting, which is a cool detail that is boring and long to record, so here's Trevor instead.
Oh yeah, somebody's having fun, huh?
You can change your phone settings so it vibrates instead of rings when receiving a call. When multiple characters can start a mission, the beginning mission dialogue is different depending on who you start the mission as. Braking suddenly and aggressively in your car lurches your character and any passengers forward thanks to the momentum, and after being discharged from the hospital, your character will still have cuts and bruises, which is not bad considering how you generally get there. Oh, screw it, the in-game Prius clone, that car you didn't really ever notice. It initially runs silent until you aggressively accelerate, at which point the engine kicks in. Yeah, I kind of feel like that fact wasn't worth it. Kicking cars can dent them, and if you kick them in the right spot on the rear quarter, all the glass breaks. NPCs will cover their heads or run away when it starts raining. Some characters' voicemail messages will change as the game progresses depending on where they are and what they're doing at what point in the game. If you take Michael's car as Franklin or Trevor, Michael will call and split on you basically. Cars get dirtier the more they're driven, especially off-road, and NPCs will comment on that, probably leading you to shoot them. Driving into the mountains can cause the radio signals of some of the city-based stations to be garbled and lost. When Franklin is driving with Chop, he leans over and opens the door for him when he gets in and out. Shooting a car's gas tank will create a gas trail that can then be ignited. If you idle your character for long enough, they will switch to first-person view and begin looking around the environment, At night, if you crash a car into a house, its interior lights will spring on as if you woke up all the residents. Nothing else happens, it's just a detail. Power lines sway in the wind. Walking along the beach, you might see a dog walking by itself. Later on, up the beach, you'll find a woman asking after a lost dog. And I'm willing to bet you shot the dog. When it begins raining, puddles slowly and realistically form in the road and environment over time. NPCs will sometimes try to parallel park their cars, which is usually disastrously funny. Trevor, Michael and Franklin all have different phones. You can ride a Vinewood tour bus that visits lots of city landmarks, providing fully voiced commentary on them the entire way. I've done this, I don't recommend it, it's as fun as it sounds. Trevor has an RIP Michael tattoo. If you didn't know that, then, well, you've been living under a rock, but yeah. If you drive at night with your headlights off, oncoming cars will flash theirs to alert you. Characters will comment with specific dialogue when hitting an animal with their car.
Coyote, definitely a coyote.
Attacking one gang member on or around Grove Street will turn the entire neighbourhood aggressive towards you. This is fun, and with some prep can be epic. Unless you're no good, in which case you're dead. Lester's house is filled with action figure boxes, one labelled Bigfoot in the corner. Jets leave contrails in the sky, and birds can get hit or sucked through the engines when you're flying. When you get high as Franklin, he will often become self-reflective and reveal his inner thoughts, including feeling as though he has no real friends. Yeah, Stardog hits you like that some days. Try hazel cheese, my favourite's mimosa. Well, if you've made it this far through this video, you're a legend. Comment, let us know what you think so far. Don't let us get like Franklin, all down and stoned.
Because I'm empty, and that's why I don't have any real fucking friends.
Anyway, when your character is wet, shoes make squelchy sounds until they dry out. NPCs will play full games of tennis, missing and hitting shots with voice dialogue about the state of the game. There are golf balls littering the bottom of the water hazards in the golf course. And if you try and play chicken with the train, it will blare its horn continually. Until you get out of the way, or don't. If you deck someone wearing glasses, well, you're not a nice person, but if you do, they will fly off their face. If you're talking on the phone while driving, you can't adjust the headlights because your hand is occupied. If a pedestrian is crossing the street and the light turns yellow, they'll jog the rest of the way across. And the GTA5 subway, which you never actually need to visit, comes complete with its own sound effects, NPC behaviours and over-the-air stop announcements. It's also an epic place for a police standoff at 5 stars. I think there's a video of me doing this for like 2 hours straight somewhere. Yeah, they don't let me out much. If you shoot up one character's house when playing as another, they'll send you angry text messages.
Stop firing rockets at my house!
The Life Invader pages of major and minor characters gets updated over the course of the entire game with comments from their friends and family regarding in-game story events. When characters are sleeping, their faces will twitch subtly, which is creepy, and if you stand there watching it, you're creepy. In the prologue, Michael's phone isn't a smartphone. It's an old phone. Missions can be skipped if you fail them too many times in a row because you're obviously whack. Some lights are motion detected and only click on when you walk by them. If someone is sitting in a chair and you melee kick the chair from under them, they fall over. And later in the game, Trevor has Mr. Raspberry Jam tied to the front bumper of his car. Oh, Trevor. Well, that was fun, I guess. So, if you're still here and you haven't liked, subscribed, shared and commented by now, you're boring and your mum owes me for last night.